What's up, everybody? Welcome to another video. Welcome to Saya's Domain, where we talk a lot of politics as well as the entertainment industry, because you and I both know that the entertainment industry is dribbling with a lot of politics. But today we got to talk about Patrisse Cullors, the co-founder of BLM, who has been in a lot of fire recently, a lot of backlash, a lot of calling out. People have called her a fraud for various varieties of reasons. Now, word came out last week. About a week ago, I was supposed to do a video on it. I did not, because I was just too damn busy because I needed to make some paper. But anyways, what came out 2 weeks ago that this woman had bought a house, $1.4 million. I bet most of you know about that. And then later on, New York Post reported that this woman has actually been on a spending, binging spree of buying mansions just like that. About $500,000, $800,000, and practically building her portfolio. Now, many of these houses that she's bought over the last 3 years have been growing in prices. That means that their value has been going up seriously. So this made people to look at her like, you are behaving like a capitalist. You are behaving like the exact thing that you decided to stand up against. Remember, BLM had said that they want to burn down the white supremacist, capitalist, patriarchy system. But this is what she is benefiting off of. And now, thank goodness, thank the Lord, it is starting to come out into the open. A lot of people have been asking her from day one, what's the transparency about BLM? Not just her, the whole BLM organization itself. Now, small chapters, state chapters have started to call them out. Now the news story is this, and you're not going to get this on the mainstream media at the moment, is that the New York City chapter is calling them out. Now there's a lot of stories around BLM, but I'm not going to do them on one video because it's just too much. So we're just going to be jumping into this particular story where this guy named Newsom is part of the New York City, I think is the leader of the New York City chapter of BLM, is actually calling Patrisse Cullors out for transparency on how they are spending the money, how much money they are actually making when it comes to the money they are making as BLM organizers, how much is going into charity organizations, how much is being used to help black families or what have you. So we're going to be getting into this story, and I'll probably talk about a few more things in and around if I have so much time, because I don't want this video to be too long. But before we do any of that, I want to quickly urge you guys to help me out by hitting that like button below, as that massively help me out. Now, with that important spiel out the way, let's get straight into the order of the day. Black Lives Matter co-founder Patrisse Cullors is facing backlash after a New York City Post report revealed she spent millions of dollars buying real estate over the past 5 years. Everybody knows this. Cullors, who describes herself as a Marxist, dished out more than $1.4 million last month for a 2,370 square acres of homeland in Los Angeles. Now, let's just skip through this story. News broke out that she spent $3.2 million, like I said before, on about 4 houses, leading people to say that Black Lives Matters or BLM doesn't mean Black Lives Matter. It actually means buy large manors. So this woman has been on a spending spree, and a lot of people have been calling her out on this. And one of the things they called her out for was that this $1.4 million house that she bought was in a white populated neighborhood. Funny how you would see most of these activist people like LeBron James, who say they're hunting us, lives amongst white people, these white supremacists, that all whites are racist, right? And they're hunting us. But they always seem to move there. They always seem to move there. Now, this particular lady also, the same goddamn thing. Not only that, I read that she was actually eyeing a mansion somewhere in the Bahamas next to where Tiger Woods and Justin Bieber Lake. Who the hell is Justin Bieber? It's Justin Bieber, mate. Big shots were actually buying their homes. And she was going to buy a home there worth about $5 million or $5 million or thereabouts to $20 million. I don't know, I've forgotten that story, but I read a little bit about it, but I just thought I'd mention it as well because this woman is balling. And so anyway, the new home is one of 3 properties Cullors and her spouse, Janaya Khan, I'm sorry if I murdered that name, Janaya Khan have purchased in Los Angeles area in 2016. Let me skip and get to the juicy part. So the juicy part is this. Newsom, the head of Black Lives Matter of Greater New York, is calling for an investigation into Cullors' real estate spending. The National Black Lives Matter organization has previously said Newsom and his local BLM chapters are not affiliated with the national organization, but hasn't stopped Newsom from publicly criticizing Cullors' latest financial choice choices. Now, Newsom, for those of you who don't know, he is actually leading a Black Lives Matter chapter in New York. These people have a legitimate website where if you do go to their website, you will find out that there are a lot of things happening. Now, Newsom is somebody who's very, very vocal. He still lives in the neighborhood that he grew up in. Regardless of him being the leader of Black Lives Matter chapter, for the longest of times, he is staying true to the word. He is still living in his neighborhood with his sister and his mother. He lost his father 5 years ago. So this guy is kind of like legit. His neighborhood, they know him. People in New York know him, and according to reports from New York Post, people generally love this guy. So he's pretty much legit. Now, right now, she's actually trying to stop them from holding her accountable. So she's saying that they're not affiliated with them and that they don't even have the right to use the Black Lives Matter name, that it is kind of like trademarked to them, but it is not trademarked to them. Also, because she's been called out, she decided to be a little bit more transparent and reveal information that Black Lives Matter raised $90 million last year. But that $90 million that we're talking about was only from bailout funds. Bailout funds only. What about other things that people donated to? I heard Amazon donated to them and some other big corporations donated to them. Now, when people like Candace Owens were talking about this Black Lives Matter and what they were pushing and the destruction that they were causing, it was like these big corporations were willing to lose a lot of money just to push the rhetoric that Black Lives Matter is fighting for black people and that America is systemically racist. But they are not losing money. In my own humble opinion and from the research that I've done, what I found out was that when Black Lives Matter do their protests and they push these ideologies that people should go on riot. You remember Topanga Canyon, who gave that so-called powerful speech.
I don't give a damn if they burn down Target.
Talking about how Black Lives Matter protesters went and burnt down buildings, burnt down Target, and said they should have burnt down Target, that Target should have been out there protesting alongside them and all that. Each time they do that, right? Some people are saying that they're doing the owners of those businesses a favor, but they really are not, because the neighborhoods that are being burnt down are those impoverished neighborhoods, those neighborhoods where poor people live at. White people, black people, Hispanic, Italians, everybody, you name it. It's not just black people that are suffering from this, but people that have owned businesses for years are getting their businesses burnt down. And at the end of the day, what do you think happened? It devalues the neighborhood. And when it does devalue the neighborhood, these rich corporations who are paying people like Patrisse Cullors or financing them to actually push this rhetoric out, or Topanga Canyon and what have you, will swoop into those neighborhoods, buy them, erect edifices that those poor people cannot afford. And those people would end up moving out to poorer neighborhoods. So how do they do them any favors? These people aren't losing any money. I just thought I'd share that. I just thought I'd open that. And this is one of the reasons why they can freely keep doing this. These big corporations freely keep pushing whatever it is that they're pushing, this rhetoric, to keep on causing this destruction, because they benefit whether you like it or not. They don't do anything for free. They're capitalists. And this woman herself, the way that she is operating, buying all these things, building her portfolios, is showing that she's more capitalist than a communist. She says that she is a trained Marxist. A trained Marxist is a believer in communism. And she said herself that they want to tear down the system. She's not very vocal since Biden has been president, have you noticed? But things that were happening during Trump's period are still happening till now. Guess people are still getting shot on the streets. Black people are still getting shot by cops. What has she done to actually change a single policy? They've been screaming, defunding the police, defunding the police. That is not a possibility. And neither has the current government, even though it has changed hands, even supported that rhetoric to defund the police. A lot of people have been talking about more solutions, better solutions to policing, maybe less lethal force, maybe more training, maybe, you know, so many other things instead of defunding the police. And even Cardi B said it recently, but guess what happened to her? She got so much backlash from her liberal fans that she had to delete the tweet where she talked about it. So this is Black Lives Matter, and I'm so happy that even them, the cracks is starting to show within their own organization, that the organization, I tell you now, is a goddamn fraud. And I am happy about it. There are more stories that I'm going to be talking about, but I am running out of time. So I'm going to split this into another video where I talk about Topanga Canyon, who happens to be another Black Lives Matter who has been called out. Also, I will be talking about Breonna Taylor's mother in another video where she is calling out this same Patrisse Cullors as a fraud. So Anyhow, you guys, hope you guys enjoyed this one. This is what's happening with the Black Lives Matter movement right now. They are fighting each other, and it is about time. And I'm pretty much loving it. Hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please hit that like button below, because it is massively, massively important to the channel that you do so. Encouraging me makes me want to make you more videos. So do that, guys. And I will be catching you guys on the next one. From me, it's peace, and Sire's out.